Hello and welcome to the first video about how to play guitar. If you've never played before, if you have no experience, the goal is to take you from a complete beginner to advanced and being able to understand things like musical theory, bar chords, triads, and improvising for solo techniques. So what do you need to get started? It's pretty straightforward. First thing you'll need obviously is a guitar. There are different kinds of guitars. There's acoustic, electric, and electric guitars, and those are the three main categories, and then everything else kind of falls into those categories. I have several of different kinds, albeit classical or electric, strictly electric guitars. I've got different brands of acoustic guitars, but what you really need is something that you can practice the chords and your fingering patterns on. Practice your scales. So you'll need a guitar. If it has 6 strings, great. Sometimes you'll find one laying around and you won't have one. Just make the best with what you can. You can buy a set of strings for like 10 or 15 bucks. And I'll make a separate video about how to string a guitar, the way I was taught and the way that has served me well over the years. So you need a guitar. You'll also need a tuner, which is the next most important thing when you're trying to learn guitar, because you're not only practicing with your fingers, but you're practicing with your ears. You want to hear when you play this chord. You want to be able to say, oh, that's the D major chord, or this chord, oh, that's a G major, you know. So a tuner is very important. If you have a smartphone, I stopped buying. I used to have like a physical tuner that I would use. Now I either use an app on my iPhone called Guitar Tuna, like the fish. It's free. It has chord charts, and it also has a metronome built into it. So when you get into more advanced techniques like trying to practice solos or scales, you can do it at half tempo, and especially fast ones, gradually build up your pace. But also, if you're lucky enough, you can have a guitar that has a tuner built into it. This is an acoustic electric guitar that I got for Christmas last year. It's my favorite guitar I've ever owned. It's Martin. And how you tune a guitar, standard tuning is pretty straightforward. It's E is the top string, right? That's your low E, and then it's A, and then it's D, and then G, B, and then back to E, which would be your high E. So it should sound something like that. So how a tuner works, not to get too into the minutia, but these knobs right here, you'll have 6 of them. They're each tied to a specific string, and the tighter the string goes, the higher the note, and the looser the string, the lower the note. So if I just take this top nut and I start turning it so that the slack increases on the note on the string, you'll notice it gets lower and lower and lower, right? It will do that for every string. And so what you want to do is get your tuner. So I've got mine turned on inside the guitar, and you'll see it. You can't really see it, but it will register. It tells me what this note is, and I know it's supposed to be an E. So I will just gradually tighten until it lines up with what an E should be in the tuner. And I would do that for each string until you've got your standard tuning. Super important. So how to hold a guitar. When you're first starting out, you'll see some classical guitarists will hold their guitar like this, actually. I've seen people with straps. You've got the rock stars that, it's the guitar is like hanging down by their knees and they're barely touching, they're barely holding the guitar. Personally, I think whatever feels comfortable to you, you should be, when you're playing music, you should be as relaxed as possible. In your posture, in how you're holding the guitar, it should kind of fit. Like, personally, this is just how I learned how to hold one. I've just got my outer arm rested on the guitar, and it's just kind of holding it up against my body so it doesn't slip or go anywhere. And then if you're right or left-handed, you'll need to adjust. And you also, if you're left-handed, you'll need to get a left-handed guitar. So that's something to keep in mind. The strings would be different. It would be reversed. What else? How to hold a guitar. This is the neck of the guitar, the long part. Then you've got these metal things right here that go up the neck. Those are called frets. So the space in between, if I just hit a note without pushing any frets down, that's called an open string. And then if I were to push a note, the vibration will increase and the pitch will go up higher. So the way a guitar works is similar to a piano, and then it goes up a half step for each fret. So if this were E, which we know it is, the very top string, and then we put just our finger down and push down on this first fret in the middle of the fret. So this is open, this is pushing down. So you hear the difference in the note. So it goes from an E to an F. And then if we were to slide up another fret, and we're on the second fret now, so if this is the first, so if I'm not holding anything, it's open. The space between this and this one, this first fret, is the first fret. If I were to go in between this first metal piece and second metal piece, the first and second fret, it would be the second fret, third fret, and we're now on a G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, E sharp, and we're back to E. So those 12 notes are what make up any song that you'll ever hear on the radio. Those 12 notes. And people have over centuries have created scales, combinations of notes that sound good together. So for example, the major scale, if you've ever seen The Sound of Music, right? Everyone's probably heard that scale. Or a minor scale, right? Pentatonic, that was minor pentatonic. Major pentatonic would be, and so on and so forth. We'll get into different scales and how they fit with over different chords and soloing and all that stuff. But right now, I just want to let you know that you've got the neck, you've got the frets, we've talked about the nuts up here, and we've talked about if you make it all the way down, not all guitars are cut the same. Some are cut with this part down here out so that your hand can go farther down the neck. So you want to kind of hold the guitar that's comfortable. You can't see my leg, but it's resting on my leg. And without this hand, the guitar is not going anywhere. See, like I'm holding it under my arm, and I'm comfortable. The other thing is, if you have a pick, how to hold it. We'll talk about different gauges of picks eventually, but right now it doesn't matter. You could play with an old cut-up credit card, a piece of plastic, anything that's kind of flat, that you can kind of hold in your hand and strum against the strings. So I like to hold my pick like this, in between, just with my thumb and my index finger. And you see, like, a pick has a point to it. I like to have that point pointed towards me, so towards the strings. Right. So there's lots of different techniques we'll get into, but that's what I want to show you to start with. So you need a guitar, you need a tuner. If you got a pick, great. If you don't have one, you can just use your thumb for now and just kind of strum. And the next lesson, we're going to get into chords and chord families, and we'll just start building from there. So, all right, thank you.